Welcome to the October 18, 2022 Mile 10 North Road virtual public meeting. My name is Luana Gonzalez with LNG Engineering, and I'm here on behalf of Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 and the Texas Department of Transportation. This presentation has been pre-recorded for the proposed widening and reconstruction of Mile 10 North from Mile 6 West Road, Westgate Drive, east to FM 1015 in the City of Weslaco, Hidalgo County, Texas. We appreciate you taking the time to participate in this virtual public meeting. Please note that you can pause this presentation at any time to take more time to view the slides. Thank you for joining us. November 7, 2000 was the last deathless day on roadways in Texas. That means for nearly 22 years, at least one person has died every single day. We all have a part to play to change that. This message is that reminder to end the streak of deaths on Texas highways. We need drivers and passengers to act more responsibly and help us reach our goal of 0 deaths by 2050. Texans can play a major role in ending fatal crashes with a few simple driving habits. Wear seatbelts, drive the speed limit, put away the phone and other distractions, and never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So please do your part and share this message with your friends and family. This is a local government project being developed by Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 and the City of Weslaco in cooperation with the Texas Department of Transportation, or TxDOT. This project is funded with local, state, and federal funds. Because this project has federal and state funds, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 selected LNG Engineering through the procurement process to prepare the schematics, environmental documentation, and assist in conducting the public involvement activities. Hidalgo County will be responsible for right-of-way acquisition and to complete the plans, specifications, and estimates for the project. Upon completion of these tasks, Hidalgo County would receive bids for construction of the proposed project. All the materials for this public meeting are available for viewing and downloading on the internet. They can be found at www.hidalgocounty.us or www.txdot.gov, keyword mile 10N in the search box. All these materials and video presentation are also available in Spanish at these same websites. After a brief description of the project, a technical overview of the project, the right-of-way acquisition process, and environmental documentation, and a summary of the next steps involved in project development will be provided. I will then go over the process to receive comments regarding this project. This public meeting is being offered in 2 formats, virtually and in person. The virtual public meeting will provide the same information as the in-person meeting. All project information can be found in the websites provided earlier. The in-person public meeting will be held Wednesday, October 19, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at private first-class Mario Ibarra Elementary School Cafeteria, 1800 East Mile 10 North Road, Weslaco, Texas. The public will be able to provide verbal comments and/or questions during the comment portion of the public meeting. Verbal comments will be recorded in the public record by a court reporter that will be present during the public meeting. The proposed project is anticipated to be programmed with both state and federal funds. Because of this, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analysis of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether to proceed with the project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. This review and approval process applies to this project. The purpose of this virtual public meeting is to encourage and maintain effective communication with the public and provide project-specific information as it relates to the Mile 10 North project in the City of Weslaco and in Hidalgo County. Your input and comments are an important part of this process, and I encourage you to provide comments on this project. As I mentioned earlier, your continued participation throughout the planning and development of this project is very important. The proposed Mile 10 North Road project limits are from Mile 6 West, Westgate Drive, east to FM 1015, a length of 3 miles. The project is located partially within the city limits of the City of Weslaco and within the boundaries of Hidalgo County. The map here depicts the general location of the project. Transitions would occur to its original condition to ensure a safe connection for approximately 1/4 of a mile to the west of Mile 6 West and 1/4 of a mile to the east of FM 1015. The scope of the proposed project includes widening the existing roadway to provide 4 travel lanes, a 2-way center left turn lane, pedestrian and bicycle accommodations in the form of sidewalks and a shared use path, and right turn lanes at major intersections, and a dedicated auxiliary lane at the schools would also be provided. Install flashing beacons or traffic signals at all intersections as identified by traffic analysis study, and drainage would be provided by roadside ditches and an underground storm drain system. Outfall improvements would also be made. The proposed project is needed because increased traffic is leading to higher levels of congestion and decreased mobility and efficiency of this stretch of Mile 10 North Road. A section of Mile 10 North falls within the 100-year floodplain. Therefore, is a need to improve drainage to allow for the safe movement of vehicles during storm events. The purpose of the proposed Mile 10 North project is to improve mobility and alleviate congestion by increasing the number of lanes, enhance safety by providing turning movements at intersections and at schools, and by providing accommodations for bicyclists and pedestrians with the addition of sidewalks and shared use side paths. Drainage improvements would be made by adding a storm drain system, increasing the elevation of the roadway in the areas of the 100-year floodplain, and by cleaning and widening the existing drainage ditches to drain storm water runoff from the roadway. 2 alternatives were studied and considered for this project: the no-build and the build alternatives. Under the no-build alternative, the existing conditions of the roadway would remain and the existing roadway would not be widened or reconstructed. No improvements would be made to intersections or drainage, and no alternative modes of transportation, such as bicycle and pedestrian accommodations, would be provided. The no-build alternative is not recommended because it would not meet the need and purpose of the project. Under the build alternative, the existing roadway would be widened to a divided urban facility consisting of 4 travel lanes, a continuous 2-way left turn lane with sidewalks, and a shared use path for bicyclists and or pedestrians to use. The project would require approximately 32.18 acres of new right-of-way, of which 14.43 acres is for the roadway and 17.75 acres is new right-of-way for the outfalls. The intersecting roadways of Mile 3.5 West, Mile 4 West, Mile 4.5 West, and Mile 5.5 West would be improved to provide left turn lanes in which right-of-way would be required on the north side of mile 5.5 west and on the south side of mile 3.5 west. A storm drain system would drain stormwater runoff utilizing 4 existing outfalls. 2 would be improved in partnership with Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, and 2 would be widened and cleaned as part of the proposed project. In addition, improvements would be made to the existing drainage structures crossing Mile 10 North. No residential and/or business relocations are anticipated. This alternative would meet the need and purpose of the proposed project and would meet or exceed TxDOT design standards. Along Mile 10 North, the existing travel lane configurations are variable, as shown on the slide. Most of Mile 10 North is a 2-lane rural roadway consisting of 2 11-foot wide travel lanes within a varying 60 to 90-foot wide right-of-way. Drainage is currently handled by roadside ditches. As you can see on this slide, viewing east on Mile 10 North past the Mile 4.5 West intersection, the roadway is 2 lanes with roadside ditches. And on this slide, viewing east in front of Rudy Silva Elementary School, this roadway has a striped shoulder, has a center turning lane, and roadside ditches. Mile 10 North from Mile 6 West to Mile 4 West would be widened to a 4-lane urban facility within a proposed usual 90-foot wide right-of-way. This 2-mile section of Mile 10 North would be improved to consist of 4 12-foot wide travel lanes, a 12-foot wide continuous 2-way left turn lane with sidewalks, and a 12-foot wide shared use path for bicyclists and pedestrians. The placement of the proposed sidewalks and the shared use path would vary from the north and south sides of the roadway. Mile 10 North between Mile 4 West and FM 1015, a length of 1 mile, is within the 100-year floodplain as identified by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. Therefore, the roadway would be elevated to allow for 1 travel lane in each direction to remain open during a 100-year storm event. For these limits, Mile 10 North would have roadside ditches in addition to the storm drain system. This section of Mile 10 would consist of the same typical section as the previous section, except this section has a variable proposed 120-foot to a usual 150-foot wide right-of-way. Detailed typical sections are available for viewing online. There are 4 outfalls that would be utilized to drain the storm water runoff for the project. 2 would be improved as part of this project, and 2 would be improved in partnership with Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. Outfall Number 1 is an existing drain ditch owned by Hidalgo Cameron County's Irrigation District Number 9, located approximately 1/4 mile west of FM 88. Proposed ditch improvements would begin at Mile 5.5 West, cross Mile 10 North and FM 88, and end near Sugarcane Drive. This ditch is a usual 20 to 30 feet wide within variable 65 to 188 foot existing right-of-way width. The proposed improvements would be to widen and clean the existing ditch and improve drainage structures at the Mile 10 North and FM 88 crossings. The outfall would be 106 feet wide within a proposed usual right-of-way of 150 feet, a length of approximately 2 miles. Approximately 13.23 acres of additional right-of-way would be required to improve this outfall. Outfalls number 2 and number 3 would be widened, cleaned, and regraded by Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 as part of the 2018 bond project. Outfall number 2 is located between mile 4.5 west and mile 4 west, and outfall number 3 is located between mile 4 west and mile 3.5 west. Outfall number 4 is an existing drain ditch owned by Hidalgo County's Irrigation District number 9, located approximately 3/10 of a mile west of FM 1015. The existing ditch is a usual 20-foot wide within a variable 40 to 80-foot right-of-way width. Proposed ditch improvements would start a quarter of a mile north of mile 10, cross mile 10, and end a quarter of a mile south of mile 10. The proposed improvements would be to extend the ditch north of mile 10 and to widen and clean the existing ditch south of mile 10. The outfall would be 106 feet wide within a proposed usual right-of-way of 150 feet, a length of approximately half a mile. Approximately 4.52 acres of additional right-of-way would be required to improve this outfall. There is an existing main irrigation line located between mile 6 west and FM 88 that runs parallel to mile 10 north, owned by Hidalgo County's Irrigation District number 9. Extensive coordination efforts have taken place between Hidalgo County Precinct number 1 and the Irrigation District in an effort to minimize the impacts on existing homes. A 30-foot easement owned by the Irrigation District would be purchased as part of this project. The right-of-way acquisition process will follow federal and state laws and policies. The Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisitions Policy Act of 1970, known as the Uniform Act, is a federal law that is followed for appraisals, negotiations, and relocation of families and/or businesses. Hard copies of the right-of-way brochures and property owner's Bill of Rights will be available at the right-of-way table at the in-person public meeting and are also available at Hidalgo County or TxDOT websites. Hidalgo County is the agency responsible for acquiring the additional right-of-way from the individual property owners for the project. TxDOT will ensure that the local public agency acquires all real property in accordance with the provisions of Title III of the Uniform Act and its associated federal regulations, 49 CFR Part 24. All negotiations for right-of-way conducted are subject to this law and these regulations. Relocation booklets, which provide a general overview of the Relocation Assistance Program and outlines the services offered and any payments for which displaced individuals, families, businesses, and nonprofit organizations may be eligible to receive, are available for download on the Hidalgo County and TxDOT websites at the addresses listed on the screen. Since a proposed project would utilize state and federal funds, it is required to adhere to NEPA. As part of the environmental process, technical analysis are being completed to document the potential environmental impacts of the proposed project. The resource categories under study include biological resources, including threatened and endangered species and their habitat, community impact assessment, water resources, including waters of the U.S. and wetlands, cultural resource studies, which includes archaeological and historical resources, hazardous materials, and traffic noise analysis. The result of these studies will be available once the analyses are completed. All environmental documentation will be developed in accordance with NEPA, TxDOT, and FHWA standards. The Mile 10 North project is listed in the Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization's Metropolitan Transportation Plan, MTP, and the 2023 to 2026 Transportation Improvement Program, TIP, in fiscal year 2023 for right-of-way and compensable utilities. The next step in project development is to review and evaluate all the comments received during the comment portion and finalize a schematic for approval. Project development will continue by finalizing the design and obtaining environmental clearance. Environmental clearance is expected to be received by the fall of 2023. Hidalgo County has executed an Advanced Funding Agreement, AFA, with TxDOT. Once environmental clearance is issued and the right-of-way map is complete, Hidalgo County would begin acquiring the necessary right-of-way with TxDOT oversight. During that time, the project construction plans would be finalized. Once right-of-way acquisition and design is complete, the project would go to construction. This project is scheduled to receive $15,127,988 for construction in fiscal year 2029. However, it can be forwarded within the TIP 2023 to 2026 years. Then the project can receive construction bids. Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1, the City of Weslaco, and TxDOT are committed to continuing efforts to gain public feedback on this project. I understand that the comment process is slightly different on this virtual public meeting. Therefore, I will take a moment to discuss how comments can be submitted. A comment form can be downloaded and printed from the Hidalgo County website at www.hidalgocounty.us or from the TxDOT website at www.txdot.gov, keyword mile 10N. Your comments can be submitted by mail, email, fax, or you can leave a voicemail. If you attend the in-person meeting, forms will be provided at the meeting and the public will be able to provide verbal comments and/or questions during the comment portion of the public meeting. Verbal comments will be recorded in the public record by a court reporter that will be present during the public meeting. Be sure to submit your comments by November 3rd, 2022, which is 15 days after the posting of this virtual public meeting video presentation. The forms can be mailed to Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1. Attention, Jorge Peña, 1902, Joe Stevens Avenue, Suite Number 101, Weslaco, Texas, 78596. Emailed to jorge.pena1@co.hidalgo.tx.us. Fax to attention Jorge Peña at 956-973-7844. You can also leave a voicemail at 956-565-6458. Responses to comments received will be made part of the public meeting summary report and will be on file and available for inspection at the Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 and TxDOT offices and on the web once they have been prepared. We appreciate your understanding with this comment process. We encourage the public to stay informed. Schematics will be available on the Hidalgo County and TxDOT websites to view project information in more detail. Should you have any questions at any time during the project development process or would like additional information, please contact Jorge Peña, RPIC, at Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 or Eduardo Sainz, TxDOT Project Manager, at the numbers listed. Please remember to submit your comments by Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. Thank you for watching and participating in this very important virtual public meeting. This concludes this pre-recorded virtual public meeting. Thank you.